Bill Brooks, we're ready. Thank you, sir. Your service never ends.
All right, roll call. Mayor Mena.
Here.
Thomas Welsh. Councilman Ballard. Dan Mancuso.
Here.
Guy Murata. Lou Demento. Barbara Boas. Art Murphy.
Here.
Juanita Lewis. Dave Cassidy.
Here.
Fred Stone. Eric Perry.
Here. Thank you.
You've pretty much heard what the concerns of the board, and I understand you have a plan, you want to submit a plan, let the engineer look at it, let the board look at it, see.
So what we have and what we would be prepared to provide you tonight, but I understand, I think the board wants to hear, is we have the location shown, an alternate location where the public space can go. With respect to Mrs. Boas's comment with respect to the children in the safety area, just for clarification's sakes, this is the amenity deck. It's not on the roof. It's walled in by units and walls. There's a place out there with a pool and foosball tables. So it is a place for the children who are in there.
That's a place for older children. I'm talking about children that will actually be living in apartments. Young couples have young children, and that's who lives in apartments. Not people with teenagers, unless, I mean, I'm talking about kids, toddlers, preschool, up to 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Foosball is not an issue. I'm talking about a playground. I'm talking about a green space for them to catch a ball. I'm talking about any kind of activity set area for children that would be more likely to be living in an apartment situation. Once your children get to the certain age, there's no room in an apartment. You buy a house, you move to a house. If you rent or you move, I mean, the apartments are nice size. I have no problem with the size of the apartments, but they're not big enough to raise kids in. Not when you have other alternatives. So that's my concern. Again, I understood that part, but there is still no area for children.
And I can have our landscape architect address that now if you so desire.
We don't. No.
Okay. And the other question was the applicant, assuming these are all of the conditions that have been set forth, the applicant will agree to the 80% for the traffic light.
Thank you. If our intention is to carry this meeting to the 21st of October, is that enough time for you to submit that plan? Any of the changes in advance of that? You'd have to get everything in to the office by Friday morning. Is your drop dead to make it for the 21st?
Yes, that's fine.
As a courtesy, would you get something to Mr. Gazarovski so we can see?
I don't think I'm going to be available. What? Will be someplace else.
Your senior counsel. Your senior counsel.
My senior counsel.
The applicant is bent over backwards with this. We'd ask that we be able to move forward on the 21st. Mr. Riley's here. I'm not sure why he cannot attend on the 21st. We've made accommodations. We're in the process of making more accommodations. The objectors had the chance to cross our various witnesses.
Yeah, my recollection also was at the last hearing we had, wasn't the applicant supposed to submit front elevations of the building so that...
They were submitted and testified to at the last application, at the last hearing.
At the last meeting we were at, you were supposed to produce some.
We
I was
did-
here.
And
I don't believe they were. And I'll apologize if they were. I don't believe they were.
we testified to those
Where
that
are
were
they?
presented.
Where are they?
I mean, there was no new drawings.
Wait. Where are they?
There was a rendering that was testified to at the last hearing.
Yeah, what is it that Mr. Gazarovski you're asking for?
We'll have to go back and look at the record, but it was a specific...
Please use the microphone.
There was a specific request, I believe, by the board to show the front elevations on Bodman and the like, and it was represented to the board, you would produce
We had,
that.
and that was submitted. They brought a new rendering of the Bodmin side of the
And that was
project.
testified
This evening, they did?
Last meeting.
It was a perspective, it wasn't a full, it wasn't a front on.
It was a
Oh,
rendering.
that's right, it wasn't. Perhaps Mr. Skipper's could, if you would bear with me for 1 second.
That was what was requested. We provided it, provided testimony
Yes,
for it, and
yes,
there
you
were
did.
questions on it.
Yes, you did. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to make a motion to carry this to the 21st of October with no further notice. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So ladies and gentlemen, as I've said in the past, this is your notice. October 21st, we'll be back here again. There will be no further notice in the newspaper. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, but the second one,
It wasn't a frontal.
they can't do another public comment.
No, they're